Okay, we're going to look at something called the fundamental counting principle, and I'm going to use some notes here uh, from our school's probability notes. And here it is. It starts off saying if one operation can be done in A ways, and a second one can be done in B, and a third in C, and so on, the total possible number of different ways they can be done is just A times B times C. And you just keep multiplying them, and that's the total number of ways that something can happen. So, well, let's look at it in a concrete example. So, what it means is if you have a choice, say you're doing a menu or something, and for the first course you can have meat, fish, or chicken, and the second choice you get is mash, chips, baked potatoes, rice, or vegetables. The total number of combinations is just 3 times 5. You've got 3 choices in the first one, you've got 5 in the next one, so there should be 15. So if you had a problem like this, a party pack of 3 items is going to be made up of selecting one item from each of the choices. You just count the choices. So maybe there's 4 choices in the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sodas you could have, and then 1, 2, 3 different things for donuts, buns, and cheese rolls. You'd just go 4 times 5 times 3. That's how many different party packs you could make up, just the product of those choices. Okay, let's look at a different kind of problem. What if you had a thing where you're looking at 6 different people and you're wondering how many different ways could they be seated in the first 6 seats in the theater? Well, just think about, well, the first seat, you've got 6 different people to put in it. So it's 6 choices. And now if one person sits there, you've got 5 choices left, 5 other people to pick. And then if you put 2 people in there, you've got 4 people to pick, and then 3, and then 2. And finally, if you've seated 5 people, there'll only be 1 person left. But the product of all these choices is 720. And if you go 6 factorial in your calculator, it knows to go 6 times 5 times 4. That's what factorial mean, that excited sort of symbol there. And that's what gives you the 720 choices. Well, if you were allowed to have repeats, so it wasn't people, but if you had 6 choices in the first seat, in the first category, and then 6 in the next, and 6 in the next, well, then it would just be 6 to the 6th power. So if repetitions are allowed, then it's not factorial. It's just 6 to whatever that number is to the number of different places that you're looking at. Okay, so if you had the word Florida and you were saying, okay, how many different ways could you write that if the letters can not be repeated? Well, there's 7 different letters there. It'd just be 7 times 6, 7 factorial. And if they can be repeated, it's 7 to the 7th power. This is another question I kind of recognized from an exam. If the letters can be repeated, there's 6. You would go, if they can be repeated, it would be 6 to the 6th power. But if they can't be repeated, it'd be 6 factorial. Well, hopefully this helps with this fundamental counting principle. Will help you. We're going to be doing permutations and a permutation formula in the next video. Okay. All righty.